Othello, it is the very era of the moon. She comes more nearer earth than she was wont, and makes men mad. The moon is the source of many odd beliefs and superstitions. One of the oldest sayings is that the moon is made of green cheese, or that it is the resting place for all articles lost on Earth. It is said, if a man sees a new moon through a window, misfortune will befall him. Or if he cuts his hair under a new moon, it will grow back too fast. A secret wish made to a new moon will come true. But it is unlucky to see the new moon over the right shoulder. A new moon is the time to begin things. This is a good time to get married, to build a house, and move into it. Caesar once said that the dark of the moon is the best time to start a battle. When the moon is on the wane, stuff your feather bed. Wash your linen, mow your grass, cut your timber. Some farmers believe that the moon governs the planting of crops. They say that root-type crops should be planted during the dark of the moon, while the light of the full moon is the best time to plant the crops that grow above the ground. Also, medicines and tonics are said to be more efficient if taken during the full moon. In autumn, the full moon is the harvest moon. If the moon is a silver shield, be not afraid to reap your fields. But if she rises haloed round, soon we'll tread on deluged ground. Pale moon doth rain, red moon doth blow, white moon doth neither rain nor snow. It has been said that money exposed to the dark of the moon will increase as the moon becomes full. Some even believe that the left hind foot of a rabbit procured in a graveyard during the dark of the moon will bring good luck. We are warned that sleeping in the lunar light will produce lunacy. From this supposition evolved such expressions as loony, lunatic, moonsick, moon mad, and moonstruck. Little children love nursery rhymes, particularly verses about the moon.
The man in the moon came down too soon and asked his way to Morridge. He went to the south and burned his mouth to suffering cold peach porridge. Hey, diddle, diddle, the cat in the fiddle. The cow jumped over the moon. The little dog laughed to see such sport. And the bee ran away with the squirrel. I've seen the moon and the moon sees me. God bless the moon and God bless me.
The moon is the symbol of love and romance. It has long been the inspiration for love songs the world over. It is very simple to write a moon song. First, of course, you must have the moon, preferably in the month of June. Someone to croon, and someone to write the tune. Add the word spoon, some flowers in bloom, and maybe even a honeymoon. Hit it, boys.
I see the moon shining down on lovers, spooning in the gloom. I see the moon on a sandy dune by a blue lagoon. All the hollyhocks in bloom fill the air with sweet perfume. Soon, pretty soon, love will bloom and you will croon. I see the moon that shines in June like a macaroon. I see the moon, we will sing it soon, rhyme it all with moon. Soon, spoon, June and moon, there'll always be a honeymoon. Honey, 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 moon, moon, moon. I see the moon that shines in June like a macaroon. I see the moon, we will sing a tune, rhyme it all with moon. Soon, spoon, June and moon, there'll always be a honeymoon. There'll always be a honeymoon.
Honey, honey, honeymoon, with Daniel Boone.
There'll always be a honeymoon.
This, then, is the moon. Like a flower in heaven's high bower, with silent delight, sits and smiles on the night.
Astronomers tell us that the Earth we live on and the moon we see in the sky are but tiny specks in a tremendous universe that contains billions upon billions of stars and other worlds. Now, one of these tiny little specks, or stars, is our own sun. And circling around the sun is a system of 9 major planets. Except for Mercury and Venus, all of the planets have 1 or more moons. The giant Jupiter has 12, Saturn 9, Mars 2, and of course our Earth only 1. How the Earth and moon came to be is a mystery. Astronomers speculate that about 4 billion years ago, our own universe was once a tremendous swirling cloud of cosmic gases and dust. Within this great nebula, smaller whirlpools of gaseous matter formed. These eddies of dust and hot gases gradually condensed to form our sun and planets. It is believed that at this early stage, the Earth and moon evolved, with the moon finally cooling to become a small, barren satellite 2,000 miles in diameter and circling the Earth once a month at a distance of 240,000 miles. Because the sun lights only half of the circling moon, the moon seems to gradually change shape during its monthly trip around the Earth. When the moon moves between the Earth and the sun, we see nothing but the dark shadow side. This is called the new moon. Each night, as the moon progresses along its circular path, we see slightly more of the lighted half. When it reaches a point on the opposite side of the Earth from the sun, it appears to us as a full moon. Then, as the moon continues its journey, we begin to see less and less of the illuminated half until finally it completes its monthly trip and becomes a new moon once again. Sometimes the circular path of the moon carries it through the shadow of the Earth, and we observe the weird effect known as an eclipse of the moon. On other rare occasions, during daylight hours, the invisible moon passes squarely between the Earth and the sun, and we are treated to the spectacle of a solar eclipse. Evidence of the moon's influence on our daily lives is here demonstrated. The gravitational pull the moon exerts on the oceans of our Earth causes daily high and low tides around the world. These various movements of our moon through the sky have been observed and predicted for centuries. Today, with the help of modern telescopes and cameras, we are able to get a close-up view of the very unusual details on the moon's surface. The prominent dark areas we see even without a telescope are large, flat plains surrounded by mountain ranges and craters. Some of the rugged mountain peaks rise straight up to 35,000 feet. And the craters range in size from small potholes to giant openings measuring 146 miles across. Scientists attribute the moon's rather rough surface to either volcanic action or to explosive hits by meteorites when the moon was in a molten stage. We've never seen the other side of the moon, but experts agree that it probably looks much like the side which always faces us. The moon is a dead world without atmosphere, a silent, unchanging desert where temperatures drop to 250 degrees below zero on the shadow side and boil at over 200 degrees in the direct light of the sun. But uninviting as it seems to be, man's restless search for knowledge of the universe will certainly make the moon one of his first objectives in the exploration of space. Here to reveal a plan for a trip around the moon is the chief of the guided missile development at the United States Army's Redstone Arsenal, Dr. Werner von Braun.
A voyage around the moon must be made in two phases. A rocket ship taking off from the Earth's surface will use almost all the fuel it can carry just to attain a speed great enough to balance the pull of gravity. Unpowered, it will then keep circling the Earth in an orbit outside of the atmosphere. This is the first phase. However, if we can refuel the ship in this orbit with fuel brought up by cargo rocket ships, it can set out on the second phase, the trip around the moon and back. To facilitate this refueling operation, we will establish an advanced base in the orbit, 1,000 miles above the Earth. This advanced base, or space station, will be headquarters for the final ascent to the moon. Our space satellite will have the shape of a wheel, measuring 200 feet across. Its outside rim will contain living and working quarters for a crew of 50 men. Just below the radio and radar antenna is the atomic reactor. Its heat will be used to drive a turbo generator, which supplies the station with electricity. Access to the station will be through an airlock in the hub. The three large spokes are elevator shafts, and the small pipes are used as condensers for the turbo generator and the air conditioning plant. The entire wheel will slowly rotate at 3 revolutions per minute. The resulting centrifugal force will produce an artificial gravity for the men in the rim. Notice that the floors are placed so that the men stand with their heads toward the hub. The wheel is divided into 9 sections. The first section is headquarters